In this video, we're going to talk about a specific kind of sequence called an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence, the difference between each term remains constant. So what you're going to see is something that seems linear in manner, where from one term to the next, it looks like you are adding or subtracting the same thing every time. If that is the case, the sequence is what you call arithmetic. Just some notation for that. We're going to have this formula that says if I want to know any term, the value of the nth term of this arithmetic sequence, I can use this formula where a is the first term, n is the number term that I want. So for example, if I want the 10th term, I would plug in 10 for n. And d is that common difference that I see between the consecutive terms. So I'm going to use that formula here on this first example. First, find the first 6 terms and the 300th term of the arithmetic sequence that begins 13, 7, and so on. Now, I can't assume that this pattern goes in any certain manner unless it tells me that it is an arithmetic sequence. So because of that, I know that I'm going to keep on adding or subtracting the same thing every time. So I can see that my common difference here is going to be -6 because it tells me it's an arithmetic sequence. So the first 6 terms, we're just going to look at A1 is simply 13, it tells me that. A2 is 7, again it tells me that. A sub 3, the third term, I can continue that linear pattern, which means it's going to be 1. It's going to be 6 less than 7. I'm going to then subtract 6 again, so my 4th term would be -5. My 5th term would be -11, and my 6th term would be -17. Okay, just keep on subtracting 6. Now the 300th term, I don't want to keep on subtracting 6 until I get to my 300th term. That's a lot of work. So to find that, I'm going to use my formula. And a sub 300, the value of my 300th term is going to be the first term, 13, plus again, n minus 1, that means the number term I want, 300 minus 1, times the common difference, and the common difference is -6. That is what we are adding or subtracting each time. So if I work that out, just some simple algebra there to work that out, computation, we're going to get -1781. That would be the value of the 300th term. And I don't have to keep on subtracting 6 to get there. I can use that formula. Okay, the 11th term of an arithmetic sequence is 52. The 19th term is 92. Find the 1000th term. So if I'm trying to find the 1000th term, I would love to use this formula to do so. However, I currently don't know what a is. I don't know what the beginning term of this sequence is. I do know n. N is 1000 because that's the term number I want to find. And I also don't know d. I don't know the common difference. Like, what am I adding or subtracting each time? I know it's a positive value because I go from 52 to 92, but how do I figure that out, right? So I'm going to use each one of these pieces of information to write that formula for that term. So the 11th term, so A11 is going to be the first term, which I don't know what that is, plus the 11 minus 1, that's n minus 1 for this one, times the common difference, which again I don't know, so I'm just going to call that d. Now I do know that it is 52, so A11 is 52, so I can replace A11 with 52. So 52 is going to equal A plus 10d. And that's all I can do with that because I don't know what A or D is, so I can't simplify that any further. However, I hope that you see here that we have an equation with 2 unknowns, and what I can do, because it gives me a second piece of information here, is I can find a second formula that would help me to solve then for A and D. So A of 19 is A plus 19 minus 1 times my common difference D, and A of 19 is 92. So 92 is equal to A plus 18d. And now I have, between these two here, I have a system of equations. Right? We have a system of equations that we can solve using elimination. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply this equation by -1 and put it down here. So I'm going to have -52 equals -a minus 10d. And then if I add those, this is going to give me 40. The a's will cancel, and I have 8d. So that means that our common difference is 5. Well, now if I know the common difference is 5, I can find the value of a. I'm going to use this first formula that tells me that 52 would be a plus 10 times my common difference, which is 5. So 52 is equal to a plus 50, which means that the value of a has to be 2. Keep in mind what you're trying to find. You're trying to find the 1,000th term, and we haven't done that yet. But now that I know a and d, I can go to the formula. So the formula would be that a 1,000 is going to equal the first term, which is 2, plus n minus 1, which would be 1,000 minus 1, times the common difference, which is 5. And if I work that out, I get a value of 4,997. Okay, so you may have to use a system of equations to figure out your first term and your common difference, but for the most part, it's just being able to use that formula and understand what it is that you are finding.